Hi, this is Rob from Rob Bennett's PassionSaving.com. The title of this video is You Don't Lack Willpower. This is a pet peeve of mine in the saving area. When someone puts out a product and it doesn't work, people don't like it, whose fault is it? Remember when Coke put out new Coke and the reaction was very poor? Did they say, well, we're the experts, we know what's best for you. If the customers don't like new Coke, the customers are just going to have to change. They're going to have to learn how to like new Coke because we're not making changes. We're the experts. That's not the way it works in any other field of human endeavor. But in the saving area, we've been giving people the same saving advice for decades. Most of the conventional saving advice goes back to the 1930s. Save 10%, and saving has to involve sacrifice, and you have to put money away and benefit from compounding, and on and on and on. And a lot of that advice seems to make sense on the surface, but there's a big problem. It doesn't work. Doesn't work. And we have to stop blaming the customers. The customers are us. The customers are the people who use the saving advice to try to provide for their old age retirements and for a lot of other financial freedom goals. And if the advice doesn't motivate us to save, there's something wrong with the advice. So my message to you is to stop blaming yourself. And the criticism that is made is that we lack willpower. Well, the thing that bothers me about saving is that there are a lot of people who make a lot of money in today's economy. And those people don't save. And I've known a lot of them. I used to work at the Ernst & Young consulting firm. I was a director. I earned a good income. I was not a partner. I was one step down from partner. And I worked with a lot of partners on a daily basis. And these men and women made a lot of money. And I knew one. He was a friend of mine. And he was making a lot more money than me. And Christmas time came around one year, and he was talking about how he didn't have money for Christmas presents. So it's not how much money you make. But don't tell me that guy didn't have willpower. How did he get that job? They don't hand those jobs out on the street. He had to go to college, and he had to study for years, and he had to get good grades, and he had to work his way up. You couldn't hold down your middle-class job if you didn't have willpower. If you got up in the morning and you said, I think I'm going to go to the park today, or I'm going to go to the movies. You work nights, you work weekends. You have willpower. What you don't have is saving advice that motivates you to save. So instead of beating on the customers, we need to take a look at the saving advice. Now, please explore the material at the site, but I want to explain to you, I have to keep the video brief. It's just an introduction. But I need to explain to you a little bit about what I'm talking about. When I was at another company that I worked for, Tax Notes Magazine, they had a 401k plan. And there are rules. You have to get a certain number, a certain percentage of employees with, from different income categories participating in the plan. So the human resources person, I remember, her name was Beth. She was a very pleasant person. And she came into my office and she very much wanted me to sign up. It was a great deal, They had a match. So it was a dollar for dollar match up to a certain amount. And all the saving experts will tell you you're crazy. If you don't take advantage of an employer match, you're just crazy. And I know what they mean, of course. In dollar terms, yes, you're crazy because you're basically earning 100% on your money, and you're not going to get that in stocks or anywhere else. But I didn't accept that. This was when I started that company. I was about 31 years old. And when I became an effective saver, I looked back and I said, why? What was I thinking? And what most people say is they blame themselves. Most people say, well, I lacked willpower. Well, then how did you get the willpower? How did you become a good saver later? And that's what I couldn't figure out, and it bothered me. I'm a journalist by profession, and these puzzles bother me. And I think about them, and I think about them, and I think about them until I come up with something that makes sense to me. Why didn't I accept Beth's offer? Why didn't I join that 401k with the employer match? And here's the story. We know a lot of things. The theme throughout my website is how humans think, how the human brain works, human psychology. And we are learning things about how humans think. We're making great strides. We don't know it all by any stretch. But we're starting to make major strides, and I think this is where personal finance is headed. This is how you develop effective personal finance strategies. You have to think about how the human brain works and how people are motivated to do things. So I thought about, why didn't I want to join that 401k? Why didn't I want that match? And here's the answer. They always talk about how if you put $1 aside at age 30, I was 31, you'll get these amazing compounding returns. $1 saved at age 30, is 16 trillion, by the time you're 65. Because it compounds and compounds and compounds. Now, compounding is huge, huge, huge factor. It's true. The things they say are true. But they leave something out. It's not only dollars that compound when you are young. All your life choices that are positive have compounding benefits over the years. So, say you make a decision in college to make the right major. Well, the benefits of that decision compound and compound and compound for many, many years to come. Or you choose the right mate. Or you live in the right city. Or you exercise well, or you eat well, or whatever it happens to be. You take care of your health. These decisions compound when you're young. There's, of course, less compounding when you're old. So we give an unfair benefit to saving when we only talk about the compounding benefits of saving and not the compounding benefits of spending. And what was going on in my mind when I was speaking to Beth was, I didn't articulate this at the time, but I realized it thinking back. She wanted me to sign a piece of paper giving up use of some of the money, and I didn't have a lot of money. I was still young. I wasn't making a huge amount of money. And I knew this is going to take money away from going to Blues Alley, a jazz club, or going on vacation, or buying a new suit, or buying a new car. I never had a new car. Do those things matter? Are those things wasteful? They're not wasteful. When I go to Blues Alley, I might strike up a relationship with the girl who becomes my wife and changes my life. That's compounding. Same thing with the new suit or the computer you buy or the running club you join or whatever it happens to be. The point is, spending has compounding returns too. The real reason we favor spending over saving isn't that we're dumb and that we lack willpower. It's insulting. Telling millions of middle-class people they lack willpower, it's insulting. That's not it. It's that we know somewhere back in our minds that spending also produces compounding benefits, and we are reluctant to give up those benefits, especially when we're young, because that's when the compounding benefits are greatest. And the problem is the saving goal we pursue, which is an old age retirement. This is the conventional advice, to save for when you're going to turn 65. And when you're age 30, age 65 means nothing. And I don't want to say it should mean nothing, but it shouldn't mean a whole lot. Because what really matters at age 30 is what you do at age 30 and 35, maybe 40. Not 65. You've got other bridges to cross before that. So what passion saving is all about is saving not for an old age retirement, but saving for goals with 3 thoughts in mind. 1, effective saving goals are goals that can be realized within 5 years. Those are goals that motivate. And when you compare the benefits you'll get from saving from a goal that can be achieved in 5 years, and you compare that to the benefits from spending, the benefits from the saving choice will be real enough to you that you really will save. Passion saving goals are goals you can achieve in 5 years. Second, they're goals of intense personal concern, and that means they must be customized. We can't all save for the same saving goal. For me, the goal was to achieve enough financial independence that I could do journalism projects of my choice rather than having a boss choose my assignments. For my wife, it was staying home and taking care of our kids when they were young. For other people, it's paying off the mortgage. For other people, it's having a rainy day fund in case they lose their job. There are a lot of reasons. One woman told me her goal was to take an around the world cruise. These are the kind of saving goals you should be pursuing. Goals that you care about, goals that will motivate you. And then, of course, you do need to build your financial independence over time. When you get to 65, you, of course, do need to have a lot of money. But the point is you can break your financial independence project up into pieces so that at age 30, you are trying to acquire financial independence, but you're not trying to acquire it all at once. You're trying to acquire that piece of financial independence that has personal significance to you at that stage of life. And then you really will save. It worked for me. It's worked for lots of people. And it can work for you. I invite you to explore this website and discover some amazing stuff. Thanks for listening.